Hello everybody and welcome back. We're looking at question number 19 on the 2005 grade 8 Gauss contest. So 19, the points A, B, C, D, and E represent values along the number line as shown. Okay. A, B, C, and D are between 0 and 1, and E is between 1 and 2. Which point best represents the value of B times C? Okay. So any of these are possible, and it's going to be nice. I won't have to flip back at the end of the video to check which answer we've got, because answer A is A, answer B is B. Works out nicely. I'm going to copy my number line over, and there's sort of two ways I can think you to approach this question. It's a conceptual question for the most part. It's, do you understand how multiplication of very tiny numbers works, that sort of thing. By very tiny, I mean numbers between 0 and 1, because those are the two we're multiplying. So we have something like A, B, C, D, and then E is somewhere up here. Okay. So we want to work out B times C. And so we've got sort of two ways, as I say, to do this. We can either conceptually say, well, we're multiplying numbers that are between 0 and 1. And if I were to take any old number and multiply it by something that's between 0 and 1, say 4, multiply it by something that's between 0 and 1, we get something that's much less than the 4 that we started with. Okay? Now, if we do that, so multiplying by something less or between 0 and 1 makes gives you something that's much smaller than the second number. But the same is true if you multiply by something in between 0 and 1 as your second number. It makes whatever is the first number much smaller. Okay? Knowing that, B is between 0 and 1, C is between 0 and 1, so it's going to be much smaller than C and much smaller than B. There's only one number that's there that's like that, so our answer should be A. Now, maybe you're not comfortable with that. Maybe this is the first you've thought about this from a very conceptual level. Maybe you haven't stood back and said, gee, what happens when I multiply by something bigger than 1? Well, it actually makes your number bigger. What happens when I multiply by something between 0 and 1? It shrinks your number, makes it a lot smaller. If you haven't thought about this, that's okay. What we could do is, the question is somewhat vague. We don't actually know where A, B, C, D, and E are, but we could certainly just give them values and try it from there. And that's okay. It's a little imprecise, but we could try, and we could say E is maybe 1.2, and these guys sort of look a little spaced out. So maybe C is 0.5 and B is 0.3 and A is 0.2, that sort of thing, and maybe D is 0.75. And if we get numbers like this, then we say, well, B times C, what is that? 0.3 times 0.5. And I can at least do that on a calculator, even if I can't do it in my head. Though hopefully you can do this one in your head. 3 times 5 is 15. You just shift it over by a couple decimal places. And so that's closest to A. Hey, there's no other competition. Nothing even comes close. So that's another way to realize, well, yeah, the answer is going to be A. Although I am of the opinion that you should at least be able to approach it from a conceptual way. And if you couldn't before, maybe when one of those questions pops up this year, you'll be able to. Okay, so our answer is A, and that was question 19. Let's move on to question number 20 in the next video. Thanks for watching.